Hey guys, it's Ted Bogard. Welcome back to the Ted Show. It's Friday. Happy Friday, TGIF. Super excited to have this friend of mine back on. Erick Gereaux is with us. He's with EJG 360 Consulting LLC. And the show that we're launching, we're going to do this every month, GPS to Debt and Wealth Management. Welcome, Erick. How you doing?
Great. Thank you, Ted. Happy to be back.
Excited. I'm good. I'm excited to have you on here. I got to tell you a couple of funny comments that came up when I shared this time. People are like, why would you want a GPS to debt? And so I didn't really know I knew the answer, but I understood why they read that, didn't move forward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. It's about debt management and wealth management. But if it's both I was trying to explain it. Anyway, this is not a show to show you how to get more in debt. I just want to put that out there. But before we take a deep dive, because this is such an important topic and we have a lot of things to cover over the next couple of months when we do the show, tell them a little bit about you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again for having me back. My name is Erick Gereaux, and I am a owner of EJG 360 Consulting. I got in a car accident in November 07 and just started living my passion, helping people in all around realm of the world. So whether it's health and nutrition, whether it's health professionals, we are in multiple verticals. That this is one of the passions that I have, is helping people out of debt and into wealth management. How's that? Is that better?
I love that. We might change the show later. I swear, when I read it the first time, somebody said it and I went back and read it, I'm like, okay, I get it if you stop at debt and you don't get the and you don't understand the connection. This topic is so important because it's on everybody's mind all the time. And there's so many what I would consider shysters and charlatans out there. So people don't really understand how to maneuver through or how to manage their debt. And when you talk about the word wealth, believe it or not, a lot of people, I think they have no opportunity to have wealth, because in their minds, wealth goes with wealthy, and they're just trying to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. Let's take a deep dive. So why is debt management so important to the key for everything?
Everything kind of starts with the banking system. The banking system back in the day used to be an educational system. It used to be something that they would actually teach people about money. They would actually have the kids having, I don't know if you ever remember these, but they had the envelopes you'd stick the quarters in them. And once you had the dollar, you would bring it in and they would give you the dollar. And they would show you how to start your savings account. Well, the bank's biggest thing right now is to do what? It's a business. It's to make money.
Make money.
So what we've done is there's so many algorithms out there that people don't understand. And what we try to do is we try to educate people on how they can make their money work for them. So we educate them and get them back to a relationship with money. Let me ask you something, Ted. If you have a bill that you're going to pay for, like groceries, for example, and it's $65 and you have that $100 bill in your hand, or you have that debit card, which one are you going to use?
Wow. If my wife ever gave me cash, I might use the cash. So my answer would be debit card.
Yeah. And that's what most people do. Most people want to have that $100 bill in their hand, but they don't realize that the $100 bill and the debit card are the same thing. That relationship with that debit card of swiping it and calling it good is so much different than having to hand over that $100 bill and seeing it broke. Think about
that. That actually shows we're spending money. We actually physically see it. Absolutely. I understand that. That's an interesting mindset, because you're right. People just swipe and then you don't think about it because you think, well, it can't be mine, or right now I don't have to worry about it. But when you actually have to hand that money over, that's a different thing.
Think about what I just said. You break the $100 bill. Nobody wants to break anything. Okay. So what happens is people lose that relationship. So one of the things that my debt conversion specialists and I do is we help people create that relationship back with money. People have, money's a feeling. That's what it all boils down to. How do you feel when you're spending it? Are you a saver? Are you a spender? Everybody's something. And it's kind of goes back to our past and our parents and our friends when we were growing up, and television and all these things that have created us to be who we are. What we like to do is we like to actually get to the nitty gritty. We like to figure out how passionate people are about their debt. What kind of debts? How can we help them get to the wealth management? What people don't understand is everybody has the opportunity to create some type of generational wealth. It all starts somewhere.
We'll talk about that. What people use the term generational wealth. I know what it means, but I think a lot of people just smile and go, okay, because it's the buzzword, and they don't really understand it. So what does generational wealth mean?
I mean, some people think of generational wealth as like the Waltons, people that own Walmart. They got tens of thousands of generations already set up pretty much, but some people don't realize that it can all start with that $100 bill in the bank for that next generation.
Right.
It starts with something. It was funny. I saw a little picture the other day. It was a meme that said, amateurs built the Ark, but the professionals built the Titanic.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's good.
So, you really have to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere, whether it's, for your debt and wealth management, or whether it's something on a larger basis. So we all need to start somewhere, and starting with that little step. I think I said this the last time, but at one of my clinics that I used to go to for my rehab, everybody can walk a mile, even 1 inch at a time. So if you can just start doing something for your future and for your children's future and for other people that, you don't even know yet's future, think of some of the different things that we can do and who we can go out and bless today on other things.
So tell me about the other lots of questions I got was, are you going to talk about some steps? Are you going to give us a little one-on-one? Because I think people hear the word debt management, immediately they get stressed out. Immediately they feel overwhelmed because maybe their situation is that they have an overwhelming amount of debt. And I think a lot of people just throw their hands up and go, there's no way I'm ever going to pay all this off. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to work. And so they just give up. And then, of course, if you Google it like we all do when we're sick or we want some information, there's so many choices, people just get overloaded. So can you give them a step or two or some initial advice on something, a nugget that they can take with them in their own debt management journey?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I'll tell people is give yourself forgiveness. Give yourself grace when it comes to debt. Debt isn't good or bad. Debt is just a tool that we all utilize to get where we want to be in life. Not paying off our debt or defaulting is something that, we have to actually take a look at. So one of the things that I'll tell people is even with $1 discretionary, in other words, $1 extra a month, you can actually move your debt forward quickly. Okay. So I want to say to everybody, give yourself a break. Not everybody can do the Dave Ramsey and not, use a credit card. Not everybody's in that position. I always tell people, I don't want to change the way that you live. If you want that streaming service or if you want that MLB package or the NFL package, that's fine as long as you can afford it. But know that what you're putting out, you might be able to put somewhere else.
That's the thing. So the trade-off, the understanding where I think one of the things that a lot of people struggle with is actually understanding why they have so little left at the end of the month in their checking account. The money seems to just go out the door and they don't track it. And then if you talk about budget, immediately it's like when somebody comes in, I'm a life insurance agent, also comes in and starts talking about life insurance. You're like, I got to go. Nobody wants to talk about that because they're overwhelmed, I think, by it. They just don't. They feel like it is a big Herculean task that they'll never be able to overcome.
Well, and that's one of the things that we really try to do with my agents and I is we get to know the person. We get to know where they want to be and, where they want to be and where they don't want to be. Not everybody wants to eat ramen noodles to get out of debt. But I know a lot of people that do want to eat ramen noodles and drink water and that's it so they can get out of debt. So it all depends on where you want to be with it and where you plan on going with it. Some people have the opportunity to pull money from what they're already spending. I had one client that was spending over $250 on Starbucks, but she didn't realize it a month.
Right.
You start realizing, and you get to start making those choices for yourself rather than other people telling you what to do. We're all adults. We don't want people telling us what to do. But if I realize that I'm spending $250 on Starbucks, and I can say, okay, you know what, I'm going to spend $50 a month on Starbucks and take that $200 and put it towards something else. That's a conscious decision that I'm making for my future.
Yes, that's so powerful.
Absolutely. And that's something that we do, is we empower people to make educated decisions rather than just making a decision of, hey, I want to go get a Starbucks right now. You know, right. Hey, I want to go to McDonald's. Hey, I want to go out to eat. Hey, I want to spend $500 on my birthday this year. You want to do that? Great. But know what you're doing and what the consequences are as far as cash in, cash out.
That's right. People don't track it. I'm guilty of it too. I couldn't. Yeah. I'm sure I spend a lot of money on coffee during the month. I would be afraid to look at that, which is what most people's reaction is.
Absolutely.
When you're faced with that kind of truth, you're like, ooh, maybe it is me and not the fact that my boss isn't paying me enough. Because we all want to blame somebody.
The beautiful part about that, though, Ted, is that if you realize that and recognize that and are okay with that, keep doing it.
Yeah, agreed.
That's the beautiful part about it, is if you can still live in your means and have that little bit of extra. And that's one of the things that we do, is a lot of people are throwing a lot of money at their debt, but they don't know what it's doing for them.
Right.
You know, and again, people are giving advice because they know that a system works, but they don't know how well it works. They don't know how bad it works. They just know that if I throw money at this mortgage, for example, or at my credit cards or at my car payment, that it's going to go down faster. Well, of course, but how much is it really going to go down?
Right.
The beautiful thing that we do is we actually show people tools, we educate them, and if they follow the system, they can be debt-free and working towards wealth management on a specific date.
All right, so we're gonna, guys, as we take deep dives each show, we'll talk more about specific debt management tools and things like that. Before we wrap it up, I would be remiss if we didn't at least define what wealth management is, because I have a feeling everybody's got a different variation on that. Some of them very different. So tell us what you're talking about when you're referencing wealth management.
Well, the beautiful part about wealth management is if you pay yourself what you would be paying the banks for the same amount of time, that's going to start giving you wealth management. You don't necessarily have to go out and get a new car just because you paid your car off. You don't have to go buy a new house just because you paid your house off. You don't have to, go get something new just because you have something old. It's something that we, again, help educate, help inform people on, okay, if you still pay yourself the same amount at a small 1%. Now, yes, financial advisors, I know you're laughing at me, but I keep it bare bones. So what I mean by that is financial advisors love me because they can go get 4, 5, 6, 7, 12%. So when I say at 1% and turn that around and turn it into wealth management, turn it into actually gaining wealth, financial advisors love us. Tax advisors love us because we get them more money to play with.
To define the term wealth management as you're speaking about.
So to me, it's all about being able to move forward, move that ball forward, move the needle. We all have a pendulum that we're on. Sometimes when you start the pendulum over here and you let the ball go and it comes and swings back and forth, you need to know where you're at on that pendulum. So wealth management to me is starting to move forward and help yourself get the ball rolling towards your retirement, towards something that you're going for. Life's going to happen.
One of our Twitch followers sent this: define Bitcoin. We can talk about Bitcoin. I haven't talked to Eric about that, but if that's on his mind and his plate, we will bring that in, because I get questions about it all the time. And I actually had somebody say, hey, you can pay me in Bitcoin. You guys, if you're not accepting the fact that some of this is coming your way, you're going to be unprepared. All right. So
let me explain something. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not somebody that's going to sit here and tell you what to do with your money, but I work closely with financial advisors. So I stay in my lane. I help you with the tools and the education that I can give you. And then I push you off to somebody else that can, stay in their lane and be amazing at what they do. I'm not that guy.
Yes, you were very clear that you're not a financial advisor, an attorney. You don't play
Yeah.
one on TV either.
No, not lately.
All right. So tell us how they can reach you, because I know we've got lots of questions. Twitch is lighting up. I don't know why all of a sudden this topic is important to the guys on there and gals. But tell us how they can reach you, learn more about you in between shows.
Absolutely. My email is Erick, ERICK, at EJG360consultingllc.com. You can also go to my website, which is EJG360consultingllc.com, and feel free to reach out. My phone number's on there. If you guys want it bad enough, you guys can go get that. But it's definitely something that I'll be happy to answer any questions. Schedule an appointment. You can schedule an appointment right on the website, and that would be huge. And what we can do is it's a process. We can go ahead and, get you in touch with the right person. I like to match people to people. So, we can actually sit down and have conversations, jump on a Zoom and, see what we can do for you.
Sounds good. All right, guys. If you have questions in between, shoot them to me, shoot them to Erick. We'll ask them and answer them on the next show. Thank you, my friend. Always great nuggets I get from our conversations. You guys go to EJG360consultingllc.com, or of course you can just reach out to me. We've tagged Erick everywhere. We'll see you soon, Erick. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Have a great one.
You too. You guys have